You are listening to PastThink.com audiobook. Please like and subscribe, thank you. Chapter 76. Su Huang fights Guan Yu. Guan Yu retreats. In Nanjun, the governor Mi Fong has heard all the disastrous news of the fall of Jiangling. What he does not expect is that his old friend Fu Shiren would turn up and tell him personally of his defection. I'm no traitor, but I had no choice. The odds against me were too great. So I surrendered to Wu. I would urge you to consider doing the same. I cannot betray the king of Guanzhong, Mi Fong says. Guan Yu has hardly earned our undying loyalty, Fu Shiren says, recalling his whipping of them. If he triumphs, then things will not go well for us. He is unlikely to forget or forgive. But my brother and I, we have served the king for many years, says Mi Fong, and I can't just stop being loyal. At that moment a messenger arrives from Guan Yu demanding that the two cities provide huge quantities of rice for the army. Fu Shiren immediately kills the messenger, to the horrified astonishment of Mi Fong. Why did you do that? He demands. This is all a plot by Guan Yu to have us killed, exclaims Fu Shiren. Suddenly they are informed that Lu Meng is advancing on the city. Fear of this finally persuades Mi Fong, who surrenders the city to a delighted Lu Meng. Back in Xuchang, Cao Cao receives Sun Quan's letter outlining the attack on Jingzhou, and asking for Cao Cao to join the attack on Guan Yu. It is Dong Zhao who proposes that they let the defenders of Fanqing know they are coming, and at the same time let Guan Yu find out that they are planning to attack Jingzhou. Guan Yu will pull back for fear of losing Jingzhou, and we send Su Huang to take him out. Orders are sent, and Cao Cao himself sets out with a huge army. No sooner has Su Huang received his orders and been told that he should advance on Fanqing and confront Guan Yu than a spy reports in. Guan Ping is camped at Yanqing and Liao Hua is camped at Xizhong, he says. Between them are 12 forts, which makes it very easy for them to communicate with each other. Immediately Su Huang dispatches troops to confront Guan Ping at Yanqing. They are to fly his colors, making Guan Ping believe that Su Huang is with them. Meanwhile, Su Huang actually takes 500 crack troops and moves towards Yanqing from the opposite direction. The ploy works. Lured out to the attack, Guan Ping is drawn into a trap only to then see flames rising from Yanqing. Su Huang himself rides to challenge Guan Ping, shouting out that Jingzhou has also fallen to the Wu. Their clash is brief, because it becomes clear to Guan Ping that Yanqing is about to fall. Having lost his base, he slashes a path through the enemy towards the second base at Xizhong. There, Liao Hua asks if it is true that Jingzhou has fallen. That is a lie. Execute anyone spreading such a rumor, says Guan Ping. At that moment news comes that Su Huang is attacking the camp to the north of Yanqing. If that falls, the forts will fall also, says Guan Ping. This position, defended by the river Mian, is safe, so let's go and relieve the northern camp. Sure that Xizhong is safe due to its formidable defenses, and leaving Liao Hua to hold it, Guan Ping sets off to rebuff the attack of Su Huang on the northern camp. When night falls, Guan Ping and his men attack the north camp, only to find not a soul there. Realizing too late that this is a trap, they are suddenly surprised by an attack by Su Shang and Lu Jian. Guan Ping and his men flee, but many die in the conflict. Heading towards Xizhong, they are astonished and horrified to see that camp on fire, and the whole encampment in the hands of the Wei army. Only by the skin of their teeth do Guan Ping and Liao Hua escape, and make it back to where Guan Yu is based. There they report the collapse of their defense and the seizure of Yanqing and the camps. They also have to pass on the news that Cao Cao is advancing on Fanqing, and that Lu Meng has taken Jingzhou. Guan Yu reacts angrily, denouncing the news about Jingzhou. That is nothing but a lie, he roars. Lu Meng is ill, and this is just some inexperienced youth called Lu Sun. Nothing to worry about, do you understand? At that moment news comes that Su Huang has arrived to confront him. Guan Yu calls for his horse. You're still too weak, father, pleads Guan Ping, but to no avail. Guan Yu rides out to challenge Su Huang. Where are you, Su Huang? Shouts a fearsome-looking Guan Yu. In response, Su Huang rides out and bows. My lord, he says, it's been a long time since we last met. And your hair and beard have gone gray. Yet I do fondly remember our years of adventure together, and what you taught me then. And now here we are again. Moved by these affectionate words, Guan Yu remonstrates with Su Huang. Our friendship is indeed strong, so why have you attacked my son so violently? To this Su Huang responds by turning to his commanders and saying, 1,000 pieces of gold to the man who can bring me his head. My friend, I can hardly believe that you would say this, says an alarmed Guan Yu. Because today I'm here on official imperial business, not for sentimental personal reasons. And so saying, Su Huang swings into action, and the duel is on. For 80 bouts the two men fight, until Guan Yu begins to feel his right arm growing weak. Just as he starts to withdraw, a cacophony of sound erupts all around them. Chao Ren, knowing that his father is coming with a relief force, has charged out of the city and joined forces with Su Huang. The result is a catastrophic defeat for Guan Yu and his men. Guan Yu only just manages to escape and, riding hell for leather, he heads towards Xiangyang, only to be told that Jiangling has fallen, and that his whole family are now in the control of Lu Meng. In a state of desperation, and realizing that Xiangyang is no longer viable as a place of refuge, he turns towards Gong'an, only to be told that Gong'an has been surrendered by Fu Shiren. This is immediately followed by news that the messenger he sent to Nanjun has been murdered, and Mi Fong has surrendered Nanjun to Cao Cao. This final catastrophic piece of news is too much for Guan Yu, whose rage makes his wound burst open again. He collapses in a faint on the ground. After he has been revived, his trusted advisor Wang Fu, who advised against this course of action, urges that they send to Qingdu for reinforcements, while they set out to try to take back Jiangling. Guan Yu agrees, and messengers are sent to Qingdu asking for help. Meanwhile, Guan Yu sets off for Jiangling with Guan Ping and Liao Hua to support him. Cao Cao's arrival has lifted the siege of Fanqing. Cao Ren comes before his father, mortified that he has had to summon him. This is the destiny set by heaven, not by you, his father says. By now Guan Yu has run out of places to find safety, because he now knows Jiangling has fallen. He is caught between the Wei and Wu forces. He is advised to write urgently to Lu Meng, now ensconced in Jingzhou, reminding him that once they were on the same side in the struggle against Cao Cao and suggesting that they become allies again. Back in Jingzhou, Lu Meng has given orders that the families of all the commanders under Guan Yu and of course Guan Yu's own family are to be treated with respect and taken good care of. When the letter arrives from Guan Yu, the families gather round the messenger, asking for information about their loved ones and handing over letters or sending messages back to the commanders saying all is well with them. Meanwhile, Lu Meng politely turns down the request from Guan Yu. When Guan Yu receives this news he roars with anger and frustration, vowing vengeance upon Lu Meng, and then gruffly dismisses the messenger. Going outside, the messenger is mobbed by men wanting to know how their families are. The letters and oral reports he gives move and trouble them. As a result, they begin to question why they should go on fighting. Guan Yu blazes with anger and swears, I'll kill Lu Meng, either in this life or after I'm dead. The news, however, begins to affect the army. As Guan Yu marches resolutely towards Jingzhou, whenever the opportunity arises, men slip away. When he realizes this is happening, Guan Yu's anger grows and grows. Skirmishes take place, all of which he loses. Eventually he is attacked in a valley into which he has been driven. Not only are his officers falling one by one to the combined assault, but, egged on by locals, the local Jingzhou troops desert him. Soon he is left with no more than 300 men. Just when there seems to be no hope left, a great cry goes up. Guan Ping and Liao Hua break through the encircling enemy and rescue Guan Yu. But the situation is still desperate. Chaos is all around, the men are deserting and running amok. The small band around Guan Yu retreats to the minor town of Maiqing. They seal the 4 gates and decide to send for reinforcements from Shangyong, where Lu Feng and Meng Da are based. As the enemy take up positions around Maiqing to besiege it, Liao Hua is able to slip through and ride hell for leather to Shangyong to get help. Guan Yu is trapped at Maiqing, and it'll be a long time before troops from Shu can arrive. This is why I've been sent to you. We need your help. Even the slightest hesitation on your behalf will spell doom for Guan Yu. After Liao Hua has gone to rest, Lu Feng and Meng De sit down to discuss this. My uncle, says Lu Feng, is seriously in trouble, so what should we do? To this Meng De replies, the Wu have formidable armies and brave commanders, and now they hold all of Jingzhou, leaving Guan Yu with just little Maiqing. On top of this, Cao Cao is advancing with 400,000 to 500,000 men. What earthly use is our little army here, caught between two great enemy forces? I don't think we should take any risks. Sound advice, says Lu Feng, but he is my uncle. Seriously, I can't just do nothing. Your uncle, snorts Meng De. You might think so, but he doesn't treat you as a nephew should be trusted, does he? Rumor has it that Guan Yu was very annoyed when you were adopted by Xuanda. When Guan Yu was asked about this, he said he was opposed to an adopted son being made heir apparent, and suggested you be sent off to rule somewhere remote and irrelevant. So why trouble yourself about him when this uncle-nephew thing doesn't seem to matter to him? But how do I get out of this? Simple, says Meng De. Say you've only just secured this town, and that we cannot just rush off before we have gained the confidence of the locals. And to this Lu Feng agrees. So the next day they bring Liao Hua in to see them, and inform him that they will not be sending any troops due to their own precarious position. Mortified, Liao Hua pleads, but to no avail. Even if we were to go, it would be like throwing a glass of water on a blazing wagon. You'll just have to wait until the Shu troops arrive. Seeing he is getting nowhere with these two, Liao Hua roars his disapproval and sets off for Chengdu instead. Back in Maiqing, Guan Yu waits in vain for sight of the relief column. With so few men and so many wounded, the odds are stacked against him. Before the city gate appears Zhuge Jin, asking for an audience, and he is admitted. I come at the express command of Sun Quan, he says to Guan Yu. You've lost everything except for this meager place. It'll fall either tonight or tomorrow. So why don't you face reality and surrender to the Lord of the South, and soon you'll be put back in control. This will save your family as well. I'm but a simple warrior, replies Guan Yu, but I had the fortune to become a brother of my lord. There is no way I can betray him. If the town falls, I die. Jade may break, but that it is white cannot be changed. Bamboo will burn, but the joints remain. A man may die, but his name will resound for generations. Go now. This will be finished between Sun Quan and myself. Zhuge Jin tries other means of persuasion, but this only causes Guan Ping to draw his sword and threaten to kill him. He is stopped by a wave of his hand by his father. Shortly after, Zhuge Jin is driven from the town. Returning flushed with anger and embarrassment, Zhuge Jin informs Sun Quan that Guan Yu will not surrender. Well, that's real loyalty. So what do we do next? Asks Sun Quan. Lu Fan recommends that they consult the I Ching, and this they do. The answer given is master with the earth above water. This is taken to mean an enemy will flee far, far away. If this is so, says Sun Quan, how do we capture him? Lu Meng replies, this prediction is perfect. Guan Yu may have wings from heaven, but we've nets to catch him. It is said, a dragon down in a puddle can be teased by a shrimp. A phoenix in a cage can be mocked by little birds. So what is Lu Meng's plan to capture Guan Yu? Let's find out.